All right, we have talked about triangles. We talked about one triangle having 180 degrees total. Now that's every triangle we come across. So what if I had a triangle, and let's say that this here was, just make up a number, 65 degrees. And let's say that this one over here was 60 degrees. How can I find angle X? Well, we know several things. We know one, the total's 180 degrees. So we know two of these angles. So we know that we can take off both of those. Let's add them together and see how much they come up to. 5, 12, 125. If I take that off of there, borrow, we end up with 55 degrees. So we know that X is equal to 55 degrees. Look at it as though it were a number strip where we have 180 and then we have some type of three quantities, okay? And if you remember right, let's change colors again. If you remember right, we know that if we go plus, we equal the total, right? So I know that we have 60 degrees, 65 degrees. And if I add those together, we already know that that's 125 degrees, but we don't know what that is. And again, we have to take the total, subtract what we have, and we will end up with the 55 degrees. That's pretty much all we have to do. But let's do another one really quick. Let's go a new page here. And I'm going to put a couple of them on here. I'm not trying to draw these to scale, but let's say that this one here was 70 degrees and this one here was 35 degrees. And let's say that this one over here was 52 degrees and this one here was 37 degrees. What are the unknowns of X? We're talking about the angles, okay? What would be the unknown of those angles? Well, again, let's start here. How much do we have as a total? 180. Then we're going to find out how much do we have here? 70 and 35. We have 105. We need to take that off. And we end up with 75 degrees. So X equals 75 degrees. Over here on this one, what do we have? We start with 180. How much do we have here? Well, 52 and 37. We end up with 89. So we're going to take 89 off. We have to borrow. That becomes a 7. 10 minus 9, 1. 7 minus 8, can't. 17 minus 8, we end up with 9. And so this angle is supposed to be 91. Now, of course, that's not drawn to scale, but you get the idea of how to come up with an unknown on the angle. That's it, guys. Do your work. Remember, I'm the meanest teacher in all the land.